all assets. We're basing this on work we've done over a period of years, examining 12 fire critical assets and what was needed to keep them functioning on an ongoing basis effectively. Literally hundreds of people got involved in roundtables and discussions after roundtables and emails backwards and forwards to input into that guidance, which is available on the BIM for Housing website and the BIMinAM website. So we've kind of started off by pulling all that information together and coming out with commonalities that we can take as having been led by the industry, people within the industry, that we can then look to maybe move forward on, which is what our plan is for this meeting. So we're not here to look at BIM models or formats. We're here to agree what must exist so that a competent person can do their job, not miss anything, and prove it afterwards. So it's 3 stages: do the job, do it thoroughly, and prove that you've done it competently afterwards. So, as I say, there were 4 things that came out very clearly from those I don't know, 50 or 60 roundtable meetings, hundreds of people inputs. There were 4 things that were very clear. You must employ competent people, use checklists, identify life cycle tasks, and have auditable records. But there was no agreement on the data structure that supports that. So by the end of this session, we want a minimum viable schema and validation logic that we can all recognize as being necessary. Okay, so if you look at the slide we've got up there now, this is a common pattern across all assets, not just fire critical assets. We need to define life cycle stages. We need to define tasks. We need to ensure we assign a competent person, use checklists, capture evidence, and store an auditable record of what's been done. So does anybody disagree that this is already actually what the industry expects? Okay, good. So, Jess, do you want to put up the next bit? Okay, so let's build this together. Shout out what information must exist so someone can inspect, maintain, or replace a fire critical asset that they didn't install. So we've got 4 columns there: identify, maintain, work, and prove. Actually, that maintain is wrong. It should be understand, Jess. Change that, could you? Okay, so we're going to go column by column. Identify. So if I walk into a building I've never been in before, and I've got something to do, what do I need to do? What information do I need to find the exact asset that I want to work on? What do I need? What do I need?
Ian?
Okay, let's start off. XYZ coordinates. Obviously,
no. Richard, you've asked a question. Ian's giving you an answer.
Yes, and I'm just finishing what I was saying, if that's all right.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, we start off. We need XYZ coordinates. That's the first thing. Okay, Ian.
Yeah, just back to basics, really. What, where, why, when? 5 lines of engineering. What is it? What is it we need to identify? Where is it? Why? That's part of understanding. And then when?
Okay, just so put under identify, put XYZ. So location.
What, where, why, when?
Yeah, let's break that down. Let's break that down a bit, shall we?
Yeah.
Right. So we need XYZ coordinates. We need location, which what room it is, what zone it's in. So in terms of what?
The age and the model of whatever it is.
Okay, right. That comes into understanding. We're identifying how to actually get to it. So drawing your model reference and tags.
To which
Anything else?
anything to which it's connected. So it may be, I mean, if it's an alarm, it'll have all sorts of
Yeah,
a system,
absolutely.
not a lump.
I think that will come under work. I think that will come under work. I mean, once we've identified where it is, and how we're going to get to it. So move on to understand GIS. So you're saying that what model it is, the manufacturer,
Age.
yeah. What else?
Perhaps whether it's compliant with current standards.
Yeah, yeah.
Last serviced, in other words, or last maintained.
Yeah. Possibly moving back a bit, what's the actual specification of the thing?
Model numbers, that kind of thing, serial numbers, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The full spec, performance requirement, I guess.
Installation orientation is always a good one.
Okay, yeah.
Seen a few petrochemical plants suffer the indignities of putting things in wrongly.
Cause and effect, possibly.
What it's connected to, Richard.
Yeah.
Because if it's something that's powered and it's not obvious, you might have to close it down at the circuit level.
Yeah.
So yeah, P&ID, is that what you're talking about? P&ID though? Processing information diagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that feeds off into system. I think we should have system down there as well, because what system
whether
is
it's part of a system.
Yeah, I agree with that,
Yeah.
George. I think in the hierarchy, you'd need the system and what the element is before you then go on to the manufacturers and specification information.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll do this. We'll put this into some sort of order and make something of it afterwards. If we can just get everything down, so we're all agreed on what needs to go into that piece of work. Anything else on understand?
Risk.
Yeah, good one. Yeah.
I suppose connected to age would be its lifetime. You know, its design lifetime in the building, if it is a building element.
Yeah, is that not
it's life cycle stage?
Yeah, is that not in the service though? It's service history, because the service history should start with its life cycle stuff, shouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, those are all people's understanding might be different, so it's that stroke that.
What I suggest we do is don't challenge any of these. Let's get them all down.
Yeah,
and then we can rationalise them afterwards.
If there's overlap and duplication.
Yeah, there will be. There will be overlap. Yeah.
And it's a matter of trying to establish the level of competence you need for somebody to fiddle with it.
Right, that's under work.
Okay.
We're coming to that.
System schematics.
It's obviously difficult to do this because everything overlaps, doesn't it? But if we can just get them into some sort of so we don't miss anything.
Richard, system schematics. So a schematic will basically, a contractor's going to fit stuff according to a schematic or the plan drawing.
We'll bring that on in work when we're talking about the guy actually doing the thing. Right. Okay. So under work. So I'm in the building. I know what I'm looking for. I've found it. So what do I need to do to actually do this work?
Tools.
Tools. I need to know what I'm supposed to be doing, don't I? So
P&ID goes in there as well, doesn't it?
That helps, doesn't it?
If you've got system schematic in, your P and ID perhaps goes in work as well.
Yeah.
So this is
Confidence
really, so tools are really part of resources, aren't they? So
Is the when included in this part in terms of when these elements or items are to be serviced?
Yeah, put it. Yes, I think you'd probably put it in here, wouldn't you? Yeah.
I would think so.
So what's that? A maintenance schedule?
Yeah, schedule. Yeah.
Yes,
Maintenance schedule.
call it what you
Yeah,
like.
your data sheets would be tied into that as well.
Sorry?
Data sheets tied into that
Yeah,
schedule.
definitely. Data sheets, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So there's also the time at which you're allowed to actually do this. If it's a critical system, there's got to be either scheduled downtime or times of the day that you can work on
Yes.
it. You can't.
Yeah. Scheduling of work.
So that would include permits, task risk assessments, whatever, as well, wouldn't it?
Scheduling of work.
Yeah, the notifications to people that this system is going to be out of action.
Yeah. Notification of
notification.
Notification of downtime.
Planning should come in and understand
Permit to complete work.
Risk assessments.
Yeah,
Risk assessment. Somebody else said something else, didn't they?
Competence requirements.
Yes, obviously, yes, absolutely. Competence.
Method statement. Risk assessment and method statement, same thing, but it kind of validates competence because you can read a method statement and realise they're incompetent in doing the task.
Yeah.
Oh, just
well, where would you
put planning?
Forgive me for being brutally honest.
Where would you put things like, we've got to use a cherry picker, or we've got to use this, and therefore we've got to make sure that we cordon it all off, and that people, the right people have been notified.
That's all
should all be
planning,
in the risk assessment.
Yeah.
Would it?
Planning that.
Yeah.
That's planning.
Yes, agreed.
Anything else under there?
I agree with Gordon that the method statement should be in there. Yeah.
Method statement, yeah.
Is it the interaction with the building occupants? It'd be part of the method statement, perhaps.
Would it?
It'd be how you carry out the work, but it's how it affects the occupants.
Stakeholder engagement.
Well, that would be before, wouldn't it? That would be under planning.
Under planning. But
would it?
Maybe it'd be
Well,
worth
I think we should. I think, as George said, we shouldn't challenge any of these things because the understanding overlaps. But if we put them all down, then we.
If we've got everything down there, haven't we? That's the point.
Yeah.
Forgive me for suggesting, but is anybody looking at all this and thinking that this never gets done?
Yeah. Absolutely. That's why we exist.
Oh, I always cordon off every time I go and touch the boiler or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, just put accreditation under work as well, because that comes under competence.
Support
role
systems.
of the person doing the work.
Right, it's inspection reports put under work as well. Somebody's just put up.
Should we add permissions if you need like build control or something?
Definitely, yeah.
Yes.
Will that be under understand?
That should be under planning, shouldn't? We'll put it under the understand because it's pre, isn't it?
Because it gets quite complicated, particularly if the work is outside in a public space.
Yeah.
On the external of the building, you're shutting off public rights, public access, or even private access.
Yeah, I think we need to. I think we don't want to get too bogged down in actual procedural issues. This is more about what information is required, not what needs to be done. The two are a bit different, aren't they? Right. Okay. So let's look at prove. How do I prove I've done it properly?
Building regs compliance,
Building regs compliance.
manufacturer warranty compliance, perhaps.
Yeah.
Or, you know, certification.
I could take photos.
A lot
Yeah,
of modern
inspection,
devices will
yeah.
give an
Inspection
will have an
reports.
error code. So there's some devices that will basically report the appliance's errors.
Is that going to be all right?
BS standards. Jess.
Updated schematics drawings.
Good point.
BS
Yeah, because some
standards, updated
systems, particularly if you're
schematics.
working with fluids, they may take a certain amount of time to reinitialize. I mean, also in terms of if it's IT stuff, it's you know,
Testing.
yeah. So proving is testing. What other testing
Right,
procedures?
have we missed anything? Because I think there's
Well,
best
you'll normally
wishes from Fiona. We'll put that under prove.
You'll normally have UAT with IT stuff, won't you? So you'll have a user acceptance testing, and then
Well, testing and commissioning, isn't it?
Testing and commissioning. Cheers. Sign off. If I've gone in there and done the work and had it signed off, sign off.
I don't know much about sign off. We had a building signed off. It's ready for occupation, and that was about 2 years ago. And I went and surveyed it the other day, and it's got no insulation in it at all.
Perhaps you'll
Yeah,
do
but
competent sign
remember,
off.
this isn't about buildings. This is about an individual asset.
Maybe it's a competent sign off, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Anything else we need to put into there?
I think you mentioned before, Richard, around image capture.
Yeah, photos. Cheers.
Interaction with it, it's any change in cause and effect.
oh yes,
Yes.
management of change. That's a really important one. That should be an understanding. Management of change. Apologies, I'm shouting.
Yeah.
Appliance
Anything
history.
else?
There's certain appliances and products that will have an error code history.
Yeah, that error code.
So
Yeah, put error code
so
in there.
it's deep.
Yes, 'cause
It's
some
deep
of them
within
do
the
that.
machine. It's deep within the. Well, it's not deep. It depends upon the appliance. But I mean, we often get called and said, right, okay, it's gone to error. Can you come to site? Well, hold on. It's gone to error for a reason. What error code is it? Oh, I don't know. Well, go and find out and tell me. That'll be a start.
What about
Okay.
contract compliance at some point? Is that sign off?
Yeah, that would be sign off, wouldn't it?
What about recording the failure modes? So
Probably comes up in error codes or failure modes is probably the same thing. If the device has the ability to record that, rather than somebody saying it's failed.
Sure.
You know, effectively, it's all objective, isn't it?
For example,
What
HVAC
about
systems where
handover?
you get
Or
people
hand
changing
back or
things.
whatever?
People who go and change things, you know, people who want different temperatures in offices and stuff like that.
Okay. So basically, we've got we identify asset ID, coordinates, location, understands specification, design intent, work, primarily tasks and functions, tasks and competence, and then prove, evidence, and audit. So this is basically a common schema. So let me ask everybody a question. If it was up to you, when would you refuse to sign off an asset? When would you refuse to sign off an asset? What would be the deal breaker for you if you had to sign something off?
If it was wrong?
Perhaps we've missed off understand what the specification of the job is.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
So
Right, what do you mean if it was wrong, George?
If it was,
If it was the wrong asset?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just scroll down and do a separate little list for this. Right, so George said wrong asset. What else?
I've kicked somebody off site for just turning up on a site without prior knowledge.
Okay.
To do some service work, so no induction.
No induction. How about if you didn't trust the installer?
Would it be an insufficient specification of work job?
Yeah, yeah, could be.
Unclear stroke insufficient spec of job. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Incorrect location.
Yeah. Don't trust installer. Yeah, basically it's the negative of all the things we've already said, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
So not having any evidence of the work being done.
Well, could it be not getting the right permits to an agreement, stakeholders and things?
Yeah, absolutely. Wrong permissions just put in. Missing incorrect records or missing records.
Could be a misidentified issue.
Yeah.
Could it be non-compliant, or would that be the job to get it right? I mean, with what I'm trying to get at, the wrong instruction, as in repair this non-compliant bit of kit.
Yeah, yeah.
Inappropriate instruction, perhaps.
Yeah, inappropriate instruction. Anything else?
Insufficient proof of competence.
Yeah. Insufficient proof of competence.
Lack of correct equipment.
Could you give an example of what you mean by that, Anthony?
I mean, they've come with the wrong tools to do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
Would you say
somebody?
Yeah. Sorry to jump over the top, but it's not following the method statement or the specification. Yeah. Just reworded in a way.
Yeah. I think rather than the equipment, just change that to maybe tools.
I suppose you need to be confident that you could rely on it afterwards.
Richard, I'd like to not lose what Anthony said at the beginning, which I don't think we did cover, and that was the performance specification.
Yeah.
That's at the beginning of the thing. But was this a new spreadsheet?
No, it's on the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, put performance specification under understand, Jess.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, can we identify the asset, including its location coordinates? Can we understand what it is and what it should do? Was it worked on by a competent person? Were the correct procedures followed? And is there evidence that they were? And can we rely on it going forward? So if any of those fail, then the asset is not safe to rely on. So what we've described isn't about BIM, it's not documents, it's not models, it's all about validation. It's about, has the process been followed? Has the job been done to the required level? And can you prove it? Can you validate
Apologies,
that?
I can't see the list. Have we got accurate and verified handover information? As built, as installed information?
Yeah.
If we scroll up, Jess. Oh, is that what you mean? Do you mean the proof?
Yeah, it's accurate and verified handover information.
Yeah.
As built, or whatever the term might be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perhaps instructions, or would that be an O&M manual? Improve as part of the handover as well?
Yeah, I would say so, definitely.
Yeah.
Instruction, yeah.
User instruction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, another one on Richard on work, prescriptive specification.
Prescriptive specification. Okay.
Yeah. So just to explain the difference on that, so I'm told it's you've got a performance specification, which is how the thing is supposed to perform, and then you've got a prescriptive specification, which is how the product actually satisfies that.
Okay. So as I say, if you look at all of these, it largely comes down to one thing, and it's about validation. It's about in many cases the processes are there. They may not be followed, but they're there. The problem is in validating that the processes and the procedures have been followed correctly. So, as I say, in many cases, we've got the processes, and we recognize the need for evidence, whether it's evidence of somebody's competence or evidence that something's been done. But what we don't have is a consistent data structure or a way of validating that. So we'll ask the question again. What would it take for you to refuse to sign off on a piece of work?
Known non-compliance or known errors. I mean, you can't sign it off if you know you've got errors, can you?
Mm-hmm.
Which is non-compliance, effectively. if that's all part of the scope.
Yeah.
I'm thinking just shoddy workmanship. I mean, I don't know whether one can do any further than that. You know, if it just looks a bloody mess, or they haven't finished the job, or you know, it's.
We used to do sort of LFEs at the end of any project at Tartar, and what happened with, I mean, I've had companies in that have been cleaning out the oil tanks, and one of the hose bust, and so that was part of the process, but it was flagged as an issue, but it didn't impede the work being done because they were able to replace the hose. But it was an unintended event which shouldn't have happened. So things like that tend to go in learning from experience exercises at the end of a project or task, so that you know what went wrong, what went well, how can we learn from that. So I think here you have to define a process issue and perhaps a compliance issue into two, rather than bunch them together, because it can become sort of the fix is different for both, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
From sort of my experience of managing these types of projects, having things go wrong shouldn't have gone wrong.
Okay, well, we'll take
Can
this.
I just add?
We'll
Can I just add? I don't know whether it's. I have seen so many maintenance logs where it's not dated and there's no name, or the name
That's
is.
Good point.
Is that part of handover or something? But it's actually somebody putting the accountability, I suppose.
I would agree
What are
with
they
that.
actually? You know, a handover of a job. What have they actually done, and who's done it?
Yeah, it's one that comes up regularly,
Date and
that about
time.
training, isn't it? It's on that standardized training, part of your sort of 5S stuff, your lean methodologies. So
Okay, so where are we going to put that?
I go
put
up,
it as
Richard.
Scroll up, please.
prove. It's accountability of sign off, isn't it?
Right, yeah, put it under
accountability
proof,
of
Jess.
workmanship.
yes, standard works. So that's probably a good one as well. Standard works. So standardizing the work so that you can prove that it's been done to a particular standard, the work process.
Yeah. Put standardized work, Jess, under proof. Oh, sorry, you were writing it.
In the identify column, I think we ought to also have context, or maybe it's in the understand context.
Yeah.
And also risk and criticality. Or are those more in understanding? I don't know.
Do you want to put budget in there, or is that outside the scope?
Oh, that's a really good point. Yeah, budget, absolutely.
And timescale.
Yeah.
I would make up another list and say constraints. Budget and timescale are often used as a constraint to do all of what we've just identified.
Yeah. Responsibilities. So in other words, who's actually responsible?
Yeah.
Yeah, we call terms of reference.
Yeah.
Roles and responsibilities. R&Rs, call them, roles and responsibilities.
You put that one in, yeah. So it's roles and responsibilities. So just edit
roles and responsibilities. That one, yeah.
Just add roles. Yeah, good. I think this has been very good. Well done, Richard.
What we'll do is we'll take this away and work it up into a schema and a validation process framework. So we've actually got some output, haven't we then?
Yeah.
So can I just posture one more thing is design management, is actually getting the stuff in the understand, the information in the understand into the work.
So where would that sit, Anthony? Would it sit under?
I would say it's in addition to roles and responsibilities, design management, you know, design stroke information management.
So that would be part of the identify.
Identify, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I'd agree with that, because the problem is you've got an initial design that's then novated over to the contractor, then novated, you know, it gets shuffled around and everybody doesn't actually know where they're ultimately, ultimately who's responsible for the change management process.
Ian's just put in objectives and purpose of the task, which I think that makes sense. Where would you put that, Ian?
I think Jeremy sort of pointed it out there, not myself initially.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Just didn't want to steal his suggestion there, but it was, yeah, identify. You've got that's what I've mentioned about terms of reference. So what we call the terms of reference would be an objective in that. What is the objective of this task, and who's going to do it? Like I said, the what, where, when. I mean, oh yeah, who is a good one to have. What, where, when, who, and why.
Yeah. So
your objectives fulfill the why.
Would terms of appointment be part and parcel of that? Someone?
Yeah. I think different people call it different things, don't they? Generally, so.
Terms of appointment. Put that in identify, Jess.
Yeah, the what, where, when, why, and who. It should all be under identify. Who and why. Or why.
Yeah.
But all those questions should be in the identify box. So you should be able to answer those in that box with those roles and responsibilities, objectives, blah blah blah, terms of appointment.
Okay, I've got another couple to add. Asset type, I think we should have in there, because that's just one of the fundamentals that we need to be able to map against. And also,
would you be better?
Sorry,
would you be better, George, putting them under, say, AIR for asset information requirements? So you can then expand upon that by putting type, ID, serial number, model. So I'd just put AIR, asset information requirement, as a capture all.
Definitely, but I want to make sure that the asset type is, for example, I often find that people forget about asset type. They go directly from to an asset, which, as you know, that makes the task much easier, much more difficult, because you map the product against the type.
Under constraints, should we just add in brackets Barney time stroke asbestos? I'm using asbestos as an example. It could be anything.
E.g. asbestos.
Yeah. There's time as a constraint, and e.g. asbestos or some such.
Yeah.
It's a different type of constraint, isn't it?
Yeah. Accessibility is another one.
If you've got AIR in there, you'd be putting EIR as well.
So I've had people turn up to site and say, "Oh, I didn't know that. I'm a big lad." He was, 6 foot wide, 6 foot tall, and Can't get in the space. Or needed sort of confined space
Yeah.
training and hadn't got it. That kind of thing. Yeah, EIR is another good one.
NEMA's changing that to be something else now, which I think is
EIR, environmental information requirements. Is that what is meant by that?
no, it's all part of this 19650 reboot.
All
Which
right, okay.
I'm questioning whether it's just going to confuse the hell out of people, because
Well, what do you expect from an organisation that changed its name to some obscure Latin word?
yeah.
Okay. If we're done with that, as I say, we'll take that away and work that up into a schema, which we'll present to you the next time we meet.
Just
Okay.
OIR.
So
Would that be another one? Operational information requirements? Is it?
well, I think the way you've described it there is actually really quite important, but that's not what OIR means in the word. It's supposed to be organizational information requirements.
Yeah. That
Which
against BIM standard, yeah.
But what you said is operational information requirements. I think is really quite critical as well. So
somebody mentioned it earlier about impacts and cause and
yes,
effect. So
yeah, Richard did.
What do we mean by that? Well, I'd put that in as operational information requirements.
Yeah.
Aside knowing the OIR has been a strategic level, it's quite different.
Yeah.
This is why I hate acronyms.
Yeah.
People. PSSR, for example, free startup safety review in America and pressure system safety regulations here. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the boat for
Okay, Jess, do you
acronyms
want
has
to?
sailed, Ian. I think we've got so many acronyms in our life that we just need to
Yeah.
Google them all when we don't understand them.
No.
I'm going to be responsible for introducing another one as well, AYCR, your average yearly corrosion rate, so I'll apologise about that.
Hi, Jess, do you want to stop sharing? George, did you want to do something on AWABs?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what we want to do, obviously what we've been doing now is feeding into the work that we've been asked to contribute to in terms of the handover information. Because what we're trying to do, in fact, Anthony, do you want to say any words on that as to what we're trying to achieve together?
There's essentially three things. One, it is define the expression as built information, because it means different things to different people depending on where you are on the chain. So one is to get a definition of what something that everyone will buy into, that's what it means. And in my mind, and I think many others, it's what is the information, accurate, verified information that those operating the building need. However, it needs a bit further wrap around there. So that's point one. Point two is, how are we going to get that information? Because the current processes don't allow for it. For example, if we're looking for the verification at the end of it, designers say that they, with reason, cannot sign off a contractor's work because they're not responsible for it, and contractors don't want to sign it off for other reasons and what have you. Again, my view, having heard quite a lot of other people's views, is it's likely to have to sit with the principal contractor. And then the third bit is, once we've agreed those, how do we get that implemented? Would that be perhaps a guidance note? Would it be a British standard eventually? Would it be put into building regs, perhaps a requirement? So it's those are the sort of three really key things. if that
Yeah, it
makes
could be.
sense to people.
It could be just building on what we've already got, rather than coming up with something new, Anthony. It might be as you say, maybe a clarification of what the golden thread.
Well, I don't think it's not so much the golden thread, because the golden, the concern with the golden thread is people think that's only HRBs. I'm talking about all work, everywhere, anytime.
Agreed. Yeah.
So I don't, I'm just making that differentiation, but I don't think anybody actually. I mean, I think we need a simple statement that says as-built information is this, and then work out how we get there. And I know some of the professional bodies have already decided what their as-built contribution is. So it may be layered, but right at the front end of it, I'm just trying to get an agreement and get the regulator, and particularly building control, to accept that this is what the expectation is: verified, accurate information, and they ought to check it, which they tend not to, I think.
And I think our community is very well placed to contribute to that. So that's what we're doing, everybody, by the way. We're actually going to touch on this, but we're
I think, George, just to finish off, I think what we've just done contributes is a subset of what we're saying. First of all is the definition. Then how do we get there? And what we've been doing is, in certain ways, how do we get there? Because that's what the information needs to be to an extent. But we're actually, I'm really looking at the prove column at the moment, because I don't think we've even got the agreement. Once we've got agreement to what the prove column means, we can then work out how we get that information. And in a large project, or even in a really small project, as we've just discussed, it goes through various hands, and never gets verified at the end as being what was promised at the beginning.
Good. Okay. So thank you, Anthony. So we'll carry on with this. Yeah. The next thing is we've been talking for the last probably 2 or 3 months about AWAB's law, which is the damp and mold, the measures that are being put in place to address the challenges of damp and mold. And Connor has done quite some really good work in defining a generic workflow on that. I've been a bit surprised that the building safety representatives from the housing associations and the councils haven't been more engaged in this, which my understanding is that it's it's the risk for landlords is huge, but it seems that it's been parceled off as a discrete area, and it's not the responsibility of the building safety team, which possibly it's because the building safety team's already got so much to do. But do you have a view on that, Connor? I think he might have stepped away.
No, not stepped away. I was trying to press the right button, so my mouse ran out of battery. So it's hard for me to say in terms of the industry, because Wheatley internally has made a big effort, and AWAB's law in Scotland I don't think it's due to start. It was supposed to be March, or it's supposed to be this month or May. I think it's been moved to October, so it's a year behind what's happening in England. So we've been making a conscious effort, and our Healthy Homes team is really running with implementing the processes and discussing with help from my team and our building pathology team. Wheatley is massive. It's the biggest housing association in Scotland. So we are fortunate to have various teams feeding in, and the Healthy Homes team are sort of acting as the building safety teams for the AWAB's law stuff. More so damp and mold, but that will include the other hazards as they come on. I thought there would be more buy-in from the group, more people I can send the workflow out to get some feedback on.
we're not giving up on that, Connor, and we did have a dedicated work stream on it, which we can fold into this. So I think the key thing at the moment is that there's going to be also we've got another group. There's another area which is looking at energy performance. Yeah. Now, the point is there's going to be a whole range of different use cases, purposes, as I'm told it's called, that we can actually say we need the asset information to enable that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're doing here just now, in terms of making sure that we're getting the right information at handover, not just on new builds, but on refurbishments and things like that, I think that all contributes towards what you and I actually want out of it, Connor, at the end. And that's to be able to make it easy for people that are trying to address those hazards, but do so in a way that isn't isolated. And I think that's the big challenge that we've got, that if it's the customer service team, for example, within the council that's doing it, rather than the building safety team, rather than the housing team, we need to glue these things together a little bit. Jeremy Mallet. So are you still doing taking people through the to get building safety cases together? Are you there at the moment, Jeremy? It's always a danger, isn't it, when I call out? Okay. Right. Okay. So if you're interested in this thing, this is damp and mold, and the obligations on housing associations and councils now in England is huge. They've got to respond within a very short space of time, and they've got to come up with a remedial problem very quickly as well. So if you're interested in learning any more about that, if you put AWAB's law in the chat, we'll try and rekindle this, Connor, and get some enthusiasm behind it. We've got 5 minutes left. The other thing that we want to, I think most people probably are aware of this. Liam, I don't know if you've been involved recently, but what we've been doing is looking at things that how we can automate the auditing of health and safety files and O&M information. So we've been developing the mechanisms to do that with the task force. So if anybody's interested in that, we're using a combination of AI and data engineering to do it. We've so we're looking at the moment for projects that are maybe coming up to a gateway or to completion, where they're producing health and safety files and O&Ms that could do with being checked and audited. So if you've got something like that, then let us know, and we can introduce you to the team. Is anybody interested in that? Possibly on a different scale. Okay, is there anything else that anybody wants to cover? We've got 2 minutes left. I'd like to thank Richard for putting that workshop together. I don't know if you feel that it's been worthwhile. I hope you do. Yes.
Yeah.
How are we going to deal with it this afternoon, Richard? We've got a education one this afternoon and the healthcare one tomorrow.
Yes, we have.
But I think we should follow. It'll be a different cohort, probably, largely, of people. So I think we should run it again. I think that's been quite good.
Yeah, we can do. Yeah, I mean, it's the same for each, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would suggest putting
who
it on the
knows?
screen and
It's
then getting
surprising
chat.
though, isn't it? If you remember, George, when we did all those round tables on those 5 critical assets,
Yeah.
and it was astonishing. You thought we'd run through what had already been said and what the inputs from hours of meetings, and people would still come up with new things. It's quite astonishing. So it's never a waste of time, is it?
What were you saying, Gordon?
I think it's probably best that you put it up and allow everybody to just contribute to those panels once they've actually seen it, rather than starting from a blank canvas, because we took 35 minutes to get the canvas together and get a painting on the canvas. I think people will understand what the context is within the columns that are there. Just a couple of things I've posted in that chat. Anthony was talking about people's recognition that the Building Safety Act is for high-rise buildings and fire. It's just not. And BISA, the Building Engineering Services Association, have got this guide that I've gone and given you the URL for. It's actually kind of a client's responsibilities. And again, I think historically the clients have just devolved responsibility to the design team, to the contractor and everybody else, and then taken it back, and then they're upset with outcomes. But effectively what this does is it basically says, listen guys, it's your responsibility. You've got to make sure that this is all. This is your responsibility under the scope of instruction. So if you want it, you better put it in the specification and the employer's information requirements, which is what we've been talking about earlier on. So it just needs greater communication to the whole industry.
The ICC, Gordon, have just issued. I think it's in draft. For consultation, is a client's guide to what their responsibilities are, which is very high level in my view, which is what I've responded. Just one thought, Richard, to add to the spreadsheet. If you're going to the various different sort of types, like the MOJ, I believe, Ministry of Defence and hospitals have specifically different requirements to the average thing. We might add that into the planning or the start. The first one is just, is it a specific context in which you're doing this work?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Okay, well, another good session. I hope you found it useful, and we'll run another one a couple of weeks' time. Is it, Richard?
Yeah, absolutely. Work on the basis of 2 weeks today, same time, same day.
Cool. Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks all. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
See you there. Bye.